You probably just clicked on this video because your ferret bit you and you have no idea why or what to do. By the end of this video, you should be able to pinpoint exactly why. Hey, it's Haley from The Modern Ferret, and here are the top 10 reasons why your ferret bit you. In this video, I'm going to teach you all about milk teeth, bite inhibition, free roaming, proper handling, basic ferret biology, and a whole bunch of other stuff to try to pinpoint what is going on with your ferret. Let's get started. Now, I want to make an important distinction between mouthing and biting. So, ferrets using their mouths is a very natural behavior. They're predator animals, they like to play and wrestle, and they also like to use their mouths to communicate. What we're trying to identify and correct in this video is if your ferret is biting so hard it hurts you or it draws blood. If on the other hand, when you play with your ferret, they mouth lightly while they're playing and it doesn't bug you, there's really no reason to correct it. Did you recently get your ferret and they're still a kit or a little baby like Moose here in this adorable footage we found from a long time ago? Chances are they are teething because they are losing something called their milk teeth and transitioning to their adult teeth. When they're losing their milk teeth and they're teething, it's uncomfortable for these little baby ferrets. This makes them want to chew on everything, including their owner, to sort of relieve this discomfort. The same is true for dogs and cats when they're little puppies and kittens going through the same thing. So this may be a reason that your ferret's biting. So what should you do about it? Well, if you do suspect that milk teeth are the reason that your ferret's biting you a lot, it is something that they're most likely going to grow out of by the time all their adult teeth come in. Did you recently adopt an adult ferret and bring them into your home? And do they specifically bite a lot and really hard during playtime? If you don't think it's milk teeth, it may be that your ferret is still young and they're learning something called bite inhibition. Bite inhibition is when your little baby ferret is with their mom and their siblings, and they're still learning how rough is too rough when it comes to playtime and biting. If your ferret is taken away from their mom and their siblings too early, like is often the case at many pet stores, they may not have learned bite inhibition properly. And also, their previous owner may have never taken the time to teach them bite inhibition. What should you do about this? Well, as their owner, you're going to need to take over and teach them bite inhibition yourself. The best way to do this is put them through a little mini bite training boot camp. There's a specific protocol that's worked for us many times in the past, and I'll make sure to link below so you can follow that as well. Your ferret doesn't spend enough time outside their cage. How many hours per day does your ferret get outside their cage? And also, is their cage maybe too small? If your ferret spends too much time inside their cage, they may be bored, stressed, and frustrated, and they may end up acting out by biting you. According to the American Ferret Association, ferrets need to spend a minimum of 4 hours per day outside their cage. If you want an especially friendly ferret like we've been happy enough to raise, I'd recommend even more time than 4 hours per day. Personally, as long as one of us is home, we actually let our ferrets free roam for a majority of the day. If you suspect that your ferret is not getting enough time outside their cage, which is causing them to act out and bite, there's a couple things that you can do. Number one, look for opportunities to include your ferret in your daily life so that they can spend more time outside their cage. An example of this that we like to do is every morning before work, we like to take all 3 of our ferrets and put them in the bathroom so that they can participate in our daily getting ready routine. This looks a lot like ferrets begging for water outside the bath as we're taking a shower. They love to curl up in our pajamas and take a little nap. They love to sit at my feet while I'm putting on my makeup. And then when one of us gets out of the shower, they like to lick our toes dry. And this is just a super easy way to create yet another activity for ferrets to spend outside their cage and engaged in your daily routine. Also, if you suspect that your ferret cage may be too small, I'll make sure to link in the description below to the #1 cage recommended by ferret owners. Does your ferret spend a majority of their time alone or even around other ferrets instead of directly interacting with humans? How much time per day do you spend picking up your ferret, holding them, cuddling them, petting them, really engaging with your ferret and bonding with them? If it's not enough time, your ferret may not be familiar with being handled and they're not going to be used to it. They may not know how to properly interact with humans. Also, ask yourself this: If you pick up your ferret and they bite you every time you hold them, do you put them right back down? If so, you're reinforcing the behavior that tells them, I bite to get what I want. This is not something that you want to reinforce. So what do you do about this? You need to start handling and petting your ferret much more often. This is how you're going to strengthen that bond, get them to trust you, and get them to enjoy being pet and held. There's a lot of ways to do this, and I'll make sure to link to the strategies that we recommend. Your ferret is actually scared of humans. Does your ferret bite every time you reach for them or approach them or even walk past them? They may be terrified of humans from past experiences or things that you've done. If you or a previous owner ever hit your ferret because they bit you or kicked them because they attacked your foot, this is going to make your ferret especially defensive and act out by biting. Those actions have taught your ferret to basically fear humans. Being physically violent with your ferret is only going to serve to make them more anxious, more defensive, and more likely to lash out by biting. Similarly, if you have small children that are unintentionally rough with your ferret, tugging, poking, prodding, hitting, dropping your ferret is going to do whatever they can to get away from this tiny human to feel safe and secure. And this includes biting. So what should you do? Well, obviously you need to be much more gentle with your ferrets. You need to help restore that trust that they have in humans. And if you're looking for ways to help your ferret learn to trust you, there's a couple strategies that work really well for us, and I'll make sure to link in the description below. Also, if you have small children, make sure to supervise any playtime with your ferrets and take that extra step to teach your children to be extra gentle whenever they're interacting with your ferret. Your ferret is scared of their environment. Hello, my name is Moose, and I am scared of my environment. Have there been any major changes in your ferret's life recently? Maybe you just brought that new ferret home. Maybe you've moved to a different home recently. Maybe you're doing really loud construction, or maybe something as simple as vacuuming. Moose personally is terrified of vacuuming, so I think that's actually pretty common. These are all things that could put your ferret on edge, which may result in a bite. If you suspect this to be the case, you need to give your ferret time to acclimate to their new environment. Also, you should make sure to provide your ferret with a safe place away from all the chaos that's quiet, calm, and all their own. Your ferret is defending their territory. Is that what you would do? You want to defend? Defend me? Defend your memory? Defend your memory? Defend your memory? Have you had somebody else's ferrets or another pet come into your own home? Have you introduced new pets or ferrets? Have you gone to somebody else's house with your ferret that had pets? Chances are your ferret started acting out because they were trying to defend their territory. So we actually had this happen firsthand. A friend of ours came to visit with a couple of her own ferrets, and Moose here, who's not typically aggressive, became very hostile and defensive around these other ferrets. They started wrestling and exhibiting dominance behaviors. We made sure it didn't get out of hand, but chances are some people will try to break up a fight between ferrets, and in the process, they actually get bitten. So what should you do about it? Well, dominance behavior is actually pretty common among ferrets. You just want to make sure it doesn't get out of hand with blood, pee, or poop. If it doesn't get out of hand, you really should just wait it out and opt to not put your hand in there because you may actually get bitten. If you're looking for advice on how to introduce a couple of new ferrets, make sure to check our link in the description below. Is your ferret fixed or neutered? If not, and you have a male ferret on your hands and it's mating season, they're gonna wanna display this dominance behavior because their hormones are raging and they're looking pretty much to dominate anything and everyone, including their owner. This may actually cause them to bite. What should you do about it? Well, talk to your vet about neutering or fixing your ferret. If you have a ferret that came from a pet store in the US, chances are they already came neutered or fixed, and you can tell if they're a Marshall ferret by taking a look at their ear or their foot, and you'll see a couple dots that indicate they've been neutered or fixed. If you're new to our channel, we post new videos every week about ferrets, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out our website where you can find a ton more resources on ferrets. Do you have a normally calm, friendly ferret that's starting to bite out of nowhere? If your ferret is not usually aggressive like Moose here, and they start biting out of the blue, they may actually be in pain. They could have an intestinal obstruction, ear mites, some kind of internal damage, something that's hard for you to notice. Moose here is super calm, super friendly, not aggressive at all. And if he were to start biting, we'd be really concerned. And so what should you do? I recommend talking to your vet immediately because your ferret may be trying to tell you something. I'll link to some more signs of a ferret in pain in the description below. All right, well, those are our top 10 reasons that your ferret may be biting you. I encourage you to leave a comment below telling your community about your own experience so that we can all learn about it. Ferrets are not inherently aggressive animals. I actually think that's a big reason that a lot of ferrets end up in shelters. They bite once or twice too many times, and their owners immediately don't know what to do with them, when in reality, they just need a little bit of training like a dog or a cat. Ferrets can transform from big biters to big cuddlebugs like Moose here with just a little bit of training. If you suspect that your ferret was lacking bite inhibition, I encourage you to check out our series called The Ultimate Guide to Bite Training. I'll link in the description below. If on the other hand, you suspect that your ferret is biting because they're scared, timid, or they may have been abused or neglected, make sure to check our link in the description below on how to get a ferret to trust you. Thanks so much for watching, and if this was weaselly the best thing you've seen all day, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on the bell so you can stay up to date on all things ferret. Thanks, bye!